Howdy people, Tunji again from Caesar Graphics. I'm back again with another beautiful party poster. Now, if you need the exercise file, simply make use of the link in the description section of this video. Now, there's one thing I like about graphic design where making party poster is concerned, which is making small events look big. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this tutorial, so sit back, relax, and keep watching. So let's create a new document. So I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to select New. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to just give it party, okay? And I'm going to make my width 900, height's going to be 900, and resolution is going to be 72. All right, now the reason why I'm using this frame size here is because I'm planning to post this on social media. So I'm going to click on the create photo now. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to drag my background image and drop here like so, and I'm going to make this real big, and I need to fit this side of this image here on this side because I really want to create that making the focus be on the center part of my frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle marquee tool, and I'm going to just draw a frame here like that. It's going to go today, and I'm going to activate quick transform and right click and select flip horizontal, and I'm going to move this to this side like that. All right, now this is beautiful. So then I'm going to add a layer mask to this because I need to take out all this error here. All right, so I'm going to select the brush tool now. Make sure that your foreground is set to black like mine here before applying the brush to the layer mask. And make sure you are always on the top layer of the layer mask. Very important. So I'm going to just reduce my brush size and just gently take this out here. So I'm blending the two layers. Add curve, all right, because I really want this side of my project to be darker than the middle part, because like I said, I want the focus to be on the center part of my frame. So I'm going to select the curve adjustment here and just drag this down like that. And I'm going to hit Ctrl-I to reverse the map and select the brush tool here and increase my brush size. And this time I have to be on the opposite color of my layer mask here. So I'm going to switch to white. And I'm going to gently apply the brush back to the scene like that. Right now, this is good. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do here now is to add my particles. So I'm going to drag that and drop here, and I'm going to make this real big like that. And this is going to be somewhere around here. And I'm going to change my blend mode to screen. And yeah, so it's going to be here. And I'm going to make a copy of this. All right, and this is going to be somewhere here. Now I'm going to activate pre-transform because I need to, rotate this. So I'm going to select rotate 180 degree, and this is going to be somewhere around here like that. And I think this is okay. Okay, this is beautiful. All right, so then the next thing I'm going to do is to add my title. So I'm going to copy that from the exercise file. Now I'm going to start with the title with the dope text. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. All right, and I'm going to change the color of the text to white. All right, and the font I'm going to be using today is going to be the Hero style. So I come here and type Hero style. All right, and I'm going to use Hero style black extended, or should we use this? All right, so I'm going to close the space between the letters, which is the tracking. All right, so I'm going to just increase that like that, and I'm going to close the space between the letters, which is adjusting the tracking like that. And see, don't make the letters too close, all right, because it's going to affect what we're about to achieve there. All right, then I'm going to make a copy of this, and I move this here and double click on the layer and change this to Sunday. Part of what always make party poster look interesting is when you make it have this energy feel, like when you give the project the energy feel. And that's what I'm about to achieve here now on my title. All right, so I'm going to move this somewhere around here, and then I'm going to copy the party text. I'll pick the size of this. I'm going to double click on the layer, and I'm going to go to my character option here and select Velvast. And I'm going to turn off cap here because I don't want it to be on cap, and I'm going to turn this back to 0, which is the tracking. I'll make the tracking 0, and I'm going to activate trade transform and make this real big like that, and this should be somewhere around here. So yeah, I'm going to shift select the 3 layers now and activate trade transform, and I'm going to right click and skew this. So I'm going to move this up like that. This should be somewhere around here, like so. All right, then I'm going to hit the enter key like that. So let's just move this down a bit like that. All right, or let's push it up. So I'm going to put this in a group. So I'm going to hit Control G, and I'm going to call this title. Okay, then I am going to go straight to the group folder, and I'm going to hold on and shift together, and I'm going to make sure that my mouse is on the thumbnail of each of the layer. So I'm going to click to create marquees of each of the layers, and I'm going to select the new layer icon here and call this red glow. I'm going to select the foreground color here and sample this red color from here and just make it a bit, brighter, and select the OK button. And what I'm going to do next is to go to select, and I'm going to hit modify here and hit expand. All right. Then I'm going to make my expand 6 and hit the OK button like that. And I'm going to hold on Alt and hit the backspace to apply the color to the layer like that. And what I'm going to do next is to go to filter. I'm going to select blur here and select Gaussian blur. All right, so I'm trying to create a glow effect here. I'm going to make the radius 27.7 and I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to make my opacity 37 because I don't want the red to be too heavy on the project. All right, so I'm going to make that 37 like that. And what I'm going to do again is to hold down Control Shift again and click on the thumbnail of each of the layer like we did previously. And I'm going to hold down Alt and click on the new layer icon and call this yellow glow. All right, yellow glow here. Then I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'll go back to select again, modify here and select expand again. And this time I'm going to make my expand by 3. All right. Then I'll go back here. All right. And I'm going to select the yellow color here because, we're about to create a glow effect here. So I'm going to select yellow orange. Let's just make it orange. Yeah. And I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'll do the same move again by using the shortcut by holding on Alt and backspace. So let's just call this yellow glow. Remember to deselect the marquee. So I'm going to do that now by hitting Control D to deselect the marquees, and I'm going to filter, blur, and select Gaussian blur here. Now this time I'm going to make my blur strength a bit smaller. So I'm going to select the OK button and I'll make my opacity this time 80%. All right, then that's it. Layer here. So I'm going to hold down Control and click on the thumbnail of the red glow layer here and create a new layer by holding on Alt and call this red. All right, let's call it orange. Yeah, it should be orange. And then I'm going to select the OK button and I'm going to hold on Alt and apply the color of my foreground to the layer. So I used Alt and backspace to apply the color to the layer, and I'm going to hit Control D, which is select to double click on the layer and under the layer style here, because when you double click, what you're telling Photoshop to do for you is to activate the layer style, and that's why I have this layer style here on my screen. Then I'll change my blend mode here to color dodge, and I'm going to turn off transparency here to have this glow effect here on my screen like that. I'm going to hold on Control Shift again, and I'm going to click on the thumbnail of the 3 layers again. Now I'm going to hold on Alt again and create a new layer and call this white glow. All right, then I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to change the color of this to white. Then I'll use the shortcut to apply to the layer, which is Alt and backspace. And I'm going to hit the Control D option here, and I'm going to click on filter here, blur, and hit Gaussian blur again. Let's make it go up like that. And I'm going to select the OK button, and then we're going to reduce the opacity of this like that. I think this is beautiful. All right, let's see this. Let's reduce this like that. Then for this, or you know what we can do to this? Let's just reduce the strength of the radius because it looks as if my radius is too heavy. the value of the red here is too heavy. So I'm going to use hue saturation to fix that. So I hit Ctrl U on my keyboard. I'm going to reduce the saturation of the red because I really need to see the title clearly. Yeah, this is good. So I'm going to select the OK button like that. And for this, let's just reduce the opacity of this again because we really need to see the title. All right, now this is beautiful. All right, so yeah, the next thing we're going to do now is to add a smoke image here. So I'm going to drag that and drop here, and this should be somewhere around here. And I'll change the blend mode of this to screen. Then the next thing we're going to do is to add the picture of our artist. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to drag the very first artist here. I'll drag him and drop here, and this is going to be somewhere around here. And I'm going to make it a bit bigger, and this will be here. I'm going to hit the enter key. All right. Then I'm going to drag the next artist, which is this, and this is going to go a bit down here and hit the enter key, and then this should be behind this. And I'm going to move him. I'm going to move him down here like that. And the third artist, which is this, I'm going to drag picture from the exercise file, drop it here, and make this smaller, close it somewhere here. There. All right. Yeah, this is good. All right, this is good. This very artist is too dark. It's a bit darker, so we need to, boost it a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the layer of the artist and select curve adjustment here and click on the flip icon because I don't want this to affect the layer of this artist here. So I'm just going to move this up here like that to increase the brightness of the image. And I think this is okay. Then I'll put everything here in a group. So I'm going to use Ctrl G to put them in a group. I'm going to call this artists like that. Add depth to the images. So I'm going to select curve here and click on the flip icon because I only want this to affect the layer of the artist. So then I'm going to do the S curve here like that. All right. So be here and it will go up like so. All right, this is okay. Then the other thing I'm going to do again is to add burn. All right, to add the burn effect to their skin. And how am I going to? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold on Alt and click on the new layer icon here, and I'm going to call this burn. Then I'll change my blend mode here to soft light and check the fill with soft light no crop color 50% gray option here, and of course already okay. Then I'm going to hold on Alt and click on the clip icon because I only want this to affect the layer of the art. So I'll go straight to my burn tool here, and I'm going to zoom in. And yeah, so gently I'm going to just apply that burn to the layer of the artist here. All right. So I'm just going to quickly do that. All right, this is beautiful. So what I'm going to do next is I need to go to this dude's layer here and just reduce the saturation of the color on his face. So I'm going to select hue saturation, and I'm going to select the clip icon because I only want this to affect the layer of this character here. So I'm going to just reduce the like that, and I think this is better. All right, then so the next thing we're going to do is we need to add highlight to the hair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the new layer by holding down Alt, and I'm going to click on the new layer icon and hold this white light. So then I'm going to select the OK button, and I'm going to hold down Alt and place my mouse in between the two layers here and make sure this is clipped to just only the layer of the artist. All right, so let's fix it. Then make sure I'm supposed to be on the brush tool, so make sure you select the brush tool and go to your brush settings here and make sure your transfer option is checked. So if you have a graphics tablet, make sure your control here is set to parent pressure. But if you don't have a graphics tablet, you can turn your flow down to 11 and you're still going to achieve the same move. All right, I'm going to reduce my my brush size now and make sure that my foreground here is set to white. And I'm going to zoom in and gently apply the white brush to the hair of my subjects here. All right, so we're going to gently do that like that. Shouldn't be too much, just light brush on the hair like that, because I'm about to do something funny here now. All right, so I'm planning to add a rim light to each of the artists. You can also do the same thing on their outfits. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna add another light again. So I'm gonna hold on Alt and click on the new layer icon, and I'm gonna call this red slash yellow lights. So I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to hold on Alt and place my mouse in between the two layers again till I see the arrow, black arrow and the white box. And I'm going to click to clip this to just only the layer of the artist. So then I'm going to switch to red here. I'm going to reduce the saturation of my red here, and I'm going to select the OK button like that. And yeah, so let's start applying the brush to the layer using the settings that we apply to our brush here. So I'm going to just gently apply this here like that. So I'll increase my brush size and just gently apply the red to my subject here. So I'm going to do the same thing here like that. I'm going to move this up and just gently apply here, and even just do the same thing here. All right, then for the hair, I'm going to apply it here like that. Should be this side because I'm using this light here to apply the light here. All right, so yeah, let's see what we have now. So this is good. So let's apply the yellow light. So I'm going to move here and select orange. No, should it be yellow? Should be orange. Let us call it yellow. All right. I'm going to move this here. So it's the yellow light. Yeah. So I'm going to zoom in again and just gently apply that here. All right. So we're going to apply it here. And do the same thing here. And do the same thing here. Yeah, like that. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to add black and white adjustment here. And I'm going to hold on Alt and clip this to the layers, or you can also click on this icon and you're still going to achieve the same move. And I'm going to change my blend mode here to overlay. Now, the idea of doing this is I'm trying to create depth on the shadow of the characters here. So I'm going to double click on the layer to activate the layer style, and I'm going to blend with this. So I'm going to move from this side down to this side here, and I'm going to hold on Alt and break this, and this should move a bit to this side, and this should move to this side like that. All right, then this is good. And I'm going to select the OK button like so. All right, now for those of you wondering, okay, so Caesar, why do we have all this brush effect on the subject, or why do we have to create the rim light on each of the characters? Yeah, so there's something called unity in graphic design, which is making all the elements on your project work, make them work at like they're together. So I'm using the light from this title to apply the light yellow light on this side of each of the characters, and I'm using this light on this side of my frame to apply the red on the face of my character. All right, and I'm going to select curve adjustment here, and I'm going to click on the clip icon here because I only want this to affect the layer of the characters. Then I'm going to move this up like that. All right, and I'm going to hit Ctrl-I on my keyboard to reverse the mask, and I'm going to zoom in. Then I'm going to select the brush tool. Now make sure that your foreground here is set to white like mine, and go to your brush settings. Make sure your transfer is checked if you have a graphics tablet, but if you don't have a graphics tablet, please play with your flow. All right, so I'm going to just gently apply this to add the curve back to the scene. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to be playing with the size of my brush as I, do this, because, having random size of the brush is what's going to make this look successful. So I'm going to increase my brush size and just, add that like that. All right. So for this hair, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so I think I still need to add the red to this side of the image. So I'm going to just gently apply that here like that. Okay, so I'll go back to the curve adjustment again and increase my brush size and just add this here like that, and the same thing here. So I'm going to click on the gradient map under the adjustment tab here. Then I'm going to go straight to the gradient editor and I'm going to scroll down. So I already created the gradient map we're going to be using today. So for those of you that care to know the color codes that I use, so I'm going to click on the very first gradient map here and I'm going to double click on this. All right, like that. And so you guys can see the gradient map code here. So I have FF 5400 FF5400. That's the color code for this particular color here, and the location is 0. And the second color code here is going to be so I'm going to double click on it and I have FF1500. So I'm going to select the OK button and I'm going to hit the OK button again on this like that. So we need to reverse this. All right, so we need to reverse this and I'm going to go straight to my blend mode here and select overlay. All right, and I'm going to click on the clip icon here because I only want this to affect the layer of my characters here, and I'm going to hit Control I on my keyboard to reverse the mask. And I'm going to go straight to my brush tool here. Now goes to my brush settings and make sure that my transfer is still checked. And for those of you that don't have a graphics tablet, don't forget to turn your flow to 11 and you're still going to achieve the same move I'm about to apply now. Now, for those of you wondering, so why do I have to do that? Now, it's always good to, to have the ability to control the strength of your brush. So whenever you adjust your flow or you see me turn on my transfer option and make sure my control is set to pen pressure, I'm doing that because I want to be able to control the strength of my brush. All right. So yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm on this. My foreground here is going to be on white, and I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to reduce my brush size and just gently apply the gradient back to the project like so. And I'm going to increase my brush size and just gently apply that here like that, and do the same thing here and over here like that. So like I said, I'm using the light from this side of my project to create the light effect on the face of my subject here. Okay, so I'm going to just do the same thing here, apply the light again here like that. Yeah, and the same move here like that. All right, so I'm going to just apply that here. So I'm going to switch to black because I don't want the light on this side of my project. So I'm going to take it out. All right, I'll switch back to black to white and just gently apply that here like that, and do the same thing here like so. You can just even apply it to this side like that. Let's just apply it a bit. So for this side, I'm going to increase my brush size. Just apply it here like so. Right, this is good. Yeah, so the other thing I'm going to do now is to click on the gradient map again and click on the clip icon, then go to the gradient editor, scroll down and add a second gradient map here. I'm going to double click on this to activate the color picker, and the color code I use here is FF8200. And yeah, so I'm gonna hit the OK button, and the location is 0. Then I'll double click on the second slider here, and the color code user is FF6C00. All right, so I am going to select the OK button and hit the OK button again, and hit the reverse option here again, and I'm going to change my blend mode again to overlay. All right, so I'm going to hit the Control I on my keyboard to reverse the mask and zoom in, and let's play again with the gradient map. All right, so make sure your brush setting is still on the same setting I explained previously, and make sure that your foreground here is set to white. All right, so let's start applying the gradient map here to projects. So I'm going to just apply that here. So I'll reduce my brush size and just, create the highlights on the hair of my subject here like that. Okay, so for this curve here, thinking of adding, so we need to add more light to the hair of this character here. Under the white color here, we can make this be on whites, and just, because I really want to have more highlight on the hair of this dude here. So we need to just add more highlight here like that. The reason why I'm doing this to this dude here is because he's closer to the title. So it's better we make the highlight on his hair more stronger than the other artists. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. Yeah, this is good. Okay, I'm sure you're having fun. So if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to give this video thumbs up if you like it, and also share this with other creators. All right, now let's get to the interesting part of the tutorial. For the S curve here, I think I should just move this down a bit more like that. Move this up like that. So for the black and white, let's just adjust the blend if. So I'm going to double click on the layer to let's see if I move this down a bit more like that, and this is beautiful. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button. So make sure you're on the very first layer of the gradient map, and I'm going to drag and drop the particles image here, and I'm going to right click and select 180 degree, and this should be somewhere here, and I'm going to change my blend mode here to screen, and I'll move this down like that. I'm going to hold on Alt and click to create a new layer like that, and call this red glow. Okay, and I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'm going to select the foreground color here and sample a color from this side of my project and select the OK button. Then I'm going to select my brush tool and increase my brush size. Now, if your flow is still set to 11, please remember to turn it back to 100. So right here, I'm going to turn off transfer and make sure that on my brush tip shape here is set to soft round brush. Let's just zoom out. So I'm going to just apply this brush here like that, and apply the same brush here like that. So we can even reduce the opacity of this a bit, just like so. Hold on Alt again, and I'm going to create a new layer and call this lights. All right, and I'll change my mode here to color dodge and check the fill with color dodge neutral color black option here and select the OK button. And I'm going to just reduce my brush size here and switch to yellow. All right, and turn on transfer here. So don't forget, make sure your flow is set to 11. And I'm just going to boost this light here because I really want to make it look like the light is stronger on the project like that. We can even just gently apply the light again to the characters here. So I'm just going to gently apply the lights here. All right, so just going to extend it. So we're just going to apply the light again like that. Image GS. So I'm going to drag that and drop here. And I'll change the blend mode of this to screen. And this should be here. All right. So I'm going to select the text tool. All right. It's called Tribe. I'm going to activate the frame transform and make this bigger like that. And I'm going to go to the property tab here and change the color of this to white like so. All right. And so, yeah. So the font I'm going to use today on the font I'm going to use on this is going to be Bambe. All right. Yeah, Bambe. And I'm going to activate the frame transform and make this smaller like that and hit the enter key. Then I'm going to type house. All right. So that's the name of the clubhouse. All right. And activate the frame transformer, make this bigger and hit the enter key. Then I'm going to change my font here. I'm going to change my character here to Helvetica. All right. Yeah. So I'll use that vertical thing extended. And that should be somewhere here like that. And I'll close the space between the letters. All right. And this should be somewhere here. All right. Let's just move this out so we'll be able to see what we're doing. All right. So I'm going to type present. I'm going to make a copy of this and type this cap. And this should be Roman. It should be on Roman like that. And I'm going to activate the frame transform and make this smaller. Hit the enter key. And this should be somewhere here like that. All right. So for the venue, I'm going to copy that. Yeah. So I'm going to shift select the layers and I'm going to activate the frame transform, right click and select skew and move this up here like that. And this should be here. I'll move this up like that. I'll right click and select frame transform and move this down. And I'm going to use the same font that I use on the title here. So I'll place that here. And I'll go to my character option here and choose the arrow style option. There. All right, I'm going to make a copy of this by using the shortcut, which is Ctrl J, and I'll type the month, which is 30. And I'll make this bigger like that. And this should move up like so. Okay. We'll just move this out a bit like that. And I'll make a copy of this and type 9 p.m. And I'm going to move this up like that. And I'll shift select the layers again, activate the frame transform, right click and select skew and move this up here. Right click again and select frame transform again and just move this down like that. And that should be somewhere here like so. All right. So yeah. So for the artist name, so I'm going to copy the name of each of the artists. And I'm going to make a copy of the months. All right, let's move this up here. And this should be here. I'll paste this with the enter key. And let's just close the space between the rows. And I'm going to copy the record label. I can copy of this and move this down. Paste the name of the record label here. Activate the frame transform and make this smaller. Like that. All right, so I'll make sure everything is well aligned like that and activate the free transform and make this a bit smaller. And this should be here. All right, then I'm going to make a copy of the two layers. So for this dude here, with I think it should I'm just going to add a black brush to the this layer here. I'm going to call this, let's just call it shadow. All right, so let the brush to increase my brush size and just gently apply this here so we can see the name of this character here. All right. So yeah, so the other thing I want to do again here is to add more highlight to the face of my characters here. So I'm going to select curve adjustment and just increase the brightness like that and double click on the layer to activate the layer style. And I'm going to move down from this side here because I want to have more highlights on the face of my subject here. Hold on, hold, and move this to this side, and just move this here, move this here like that. Yeah. So I'm going to select the OK button, and I'm going to hit Control I on my keyboard to, so make sure you're on the layer mask of the cover and hit Control I to reverse the mask. I'm going to select a brush too, and I'm going to make sure that my program here is set to white. And I'm going to add the highlight back to the part I want it to appear on the project. I'm going to stamp visible the project by holding out Ctrl Shift Alt and E to do that, and I'm going to right click on the layer and convert this to a smart object because we're taking this to camera raw. So I'm going to put a filter here and select camera raw filter here like that. So under the basic here, I'm just going to reduce the highlights like that because I really want to see my title clearly. So I'm going to move the highlight down and increase the reduce the shadow. Yes, the shadow. I'm going to dial down the shadow like that. And for the white, I'm going to increase the white like that. Yeah. So then for the vibrance, I'm going to increase the, I really want the color to look more, to pop more. So I'm just going to increase the, the vibrance like that and close this. So I'm going to do the S curve under the curve here. So I'm going to move this down like that and up here like so. Then under my split zone here, because I really want to have that red feel on my project here. So I'm just going to go under the shadow option here and increase my saturation to add more red to the project. All right, so we need to just move this a bit to this side. All right, let's have this touch of red here, and I think this is okay like that. All right, so let's go under the effect here and increase the grain. All right, so I'm adding noise to the project. It's always good to add noise to your project. All right, always give it this this fun look. All right, so under the details here, I'm going to add sharpen to this like that, and I'm going to select the OK button. All right, so there's one other thing I want to tweak here because my subject here, I'm not really feeling the fact that I don't have too much grade on him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select color balance, and under the midtone here, I'm just going to push the red up like that, and I'm going to hit Control I on the layer, which is on the layer mask of the color balance, to reverse the mask and select the brush tool. And then I'm going to just apply the red back to the face of my subject here. All right. So I'm applying it to the hand, just to the skin, right? Just to the skin. Just on the skin of my subject here. All right. So this is beautiful. Let's just apply it to this side I put right here. And I think this is better. All right, so I'm going to stamp visible the project again by holding on Ctrl Shift Alt and E, and I'm going to double click on the layer to activate the layer style now, and I'm going to turn off grain here and turn off the red channel here. All right, and I'm going to hit the OK button. Then I'm going to zoom in because it's something I'm about to apply here now. I really want to have this color on the project. So I'm going to use the up and down arrow key now to just move this down. Now look at this. We can see this blue color on the face of our subject. And that's exactly what I want to achieve here. All right. So I'm using the up and down arrow key on my keyboard to move the, the layer. All right. So what I'm going to do is, you know what, let's just go back again and change this to, let's add red and turn off blue. And let's see what we have. I think I prefer the red. So I'm going to just move this up like that once. And I think this is okay. Then I'm going to add the layer mask to the project and select the brush tool, increase my brush size and take this out from some of the unwanted part on the project. All right. So I'm going to switch to the black here because I don't want this to affect the entire project. So I'm just going to take it out from I'm going to take it out from this side of the title. Wow, I'm glad you made it to the end of this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, guys, remember to hit the subscribe button and also remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Share, like, and comment on this video. And for those of you who are my new subscribers, thank you for hitting the subscribe button, okay? So I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.